Hello, my lovelies, and welcome to another episode of Quote the Raven Show. Thank you so much for joining. We have a special guest today. This is going to be the start of several different bands that are going to be playing at the Edge Festival on July 25th in Ottawa. So, without further ado, I present to you my Flux. How are you guys doing?
Hey guys.
Hey.
It's so great to see you guys again. So tell me, how have you guys been? How are you dealing with all of this crazy chaos?
Well, believe it or not, we've been busy. I just went and recorded the vocals to our new single, so I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
So if I'm falling off, you know why. I just sang for about 4 straight hours.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I guess I wonder you can even talk right now.
I don't want to.
Oh my goodness. Wow. So that's awesome. And is this going to be something that I have right here that I can play today, or is this something that's different?
It's different. It's going to be brand new. It's a brand new song. We've not even done it live very much, so
Wow.
we'll send it to you as soon as it comes out.
Sounds
Yeah,
great.
probably looking at end of July, maybe 1st of August is when Slip Trick Records is talking about a release for it.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, I can't wait to hear it. So are you going to do just as a single, or are you guys going to actually do a music video to it, or a lyric video, or?
I think it will come out as a single, but I think the plan is to either do a video or a lyric video, one of the two to match with it. It's a good song, and I guess you could say it's us. I mean, we actually wrote it and played it, but it doesn't fall into the category of the previous album, and it doesn't fall into the new material for the new album. So in order to make, and it's a good, really, really good song. So we thought, well, we'll release it as a single. And if it does well, and people say, no, it needs to be on that album, then we'll put it on the new album. But as far as what we're thinking right now and the direction that the new album's coming, it's just an in-between song.
Wow, that's awesome, though. That's awesome. So with everything, a lot of people don't know maybe who you might be. So if you would kind of introduce yourselves and introduce the band members and what they do in the band.
Yeah, I am vocalist, and this is Jason Gottney. He's guitarist. We have Richard Young, who is the bassist, and Zach Cooter is our drummer.
Yes, and we've actually played together before. We've actually done some things together, which is pretty awesome. And I still can't say enough about your drummer is so cute. That's all I'm going to say. He knows it, though. He knows it.
He's cute too. But I have to beat the girls off of him wherever we go. So he doesn't get distracted.
Yeah, he's super sweet, though. He's a super sweet guy. So with everything kind of going on, I want to make sure that we can get like all 4 of these songs in. And with even doing these interviews, getting 4 songs in an hour is really difficult because of everything. So the first thing I definitely want to do is first I want to kind of tell the audience, if they don't know, kind of where did you guys get the name of Flux, and where did that come from?
It started as kind of a joke when we were kids. Me and several friends, some members were in Becky's group prior to this one, and it was always, well, if you want to be a great bass player, if you can play the entire bass line to the whole album of Muddy Waters' Electric Mud, then you're a decent bass player if you can do that. And I still kind of believe that today, that if you can play that album, you're a pretty good bass player. So I was living in Texas at the time and thought, Electric Mud, maybe there's something we can do that, because it's kind of stoner era, that stuff makes sense. And so I wanted to keep that, and the word flux just came about as something that, helps. Usually a flux helps things move a little bit more smoothly, and mud doesn't move very smoothly. So it was an idea, and we kind of tossed it back and forth, and then out of that came MDFX, thinking, well, we can do sort of a similar or small version of it, which gives us our KMFDM or whatever. We can use that for stickers and things, and it doesn't have to be a long one. So that's where it generated from. Most of it came from the thought of Muddy Waters.
That's so cool. Yeah, and I kind of already knew the background of that, but I definitely want the audience to know that, especially with if, the
Sure.
ones that are going to be new fans today, or that see and hear and want to definitely go and support you guys. So if also, I'll put it in the comment section for you guys, their Facebook link, and also you have the YouTube. What is the best way to reach you guys? Would it be through Facebook or?
Yeah, you can always get a really fast reply from us on Facebook because that has access to all band members and management and the record label. If you know, you can get a faster response from someone. Reverb Nation is obviously another way to reach us, and Spotify and Twitter and all that. Anything that can send messenger, but Facebook is the primary hub.
Gotcha. Okay. And as for like purchasing and things like that, where would they go to do that?
The merchandise we do through Facebook, so we do through the marketplace on Facebook. The album or any audio recordings and things like that are done through Dead Pulse, which is the promotions page of Slip Trick Records. So they do the publishing of the CDs, and you can get not only hard copies there, but digital copies of the CD.
Okay, and I'll get that link from you, and make sure we put that in the description box as well. So.
Sure.
Let's talk a little bit about this first song. Now, this is kind of this is the music video, but this is, I've always loved this song, and it is All I Am. So tell me, or tell the audience a little bit about the meaning behind this song.
Well, I wrote the lyrics. It's about being drug addicted and at the end of your rope and in so much pain. Then, you're addicted to the drugs, and then you still hurt and nobody will refill your drugs because of the drug thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't sleep. You can't, it's just it's a struggle. The opioid crisis, I guess, is pretty much the bottom of the song. But yeah, it's a struggle song. So
I think
you kind of wake up and think, is this all there is? Because that's what you're reduced to.
It's so important to have something like that today. We've gone through so much chaos in the last 4 or 5 months, and I think that a lot of people, like you said, a lot of people could get addicted to other substances and things like that because they're locked down, they can't do anything, and depression does take hold. So there's a lot of people out there that need music and need songs like this. So thank you for having that song, because I think it's going to help a lot of people, or if it hasn't already, you know what I mean? Because it's one of those songs that definitely hits you and can make you feel okay. You know what I mean? It's one of those songs you just got to play over and over because it's one of those things, and I love it. I love that. So thank you for that. Well, here you go, guys. Here's All I Am from Flux.
I wait till I am all
Love it, love it, love it, love it. So, okay, so with that being said, like we talked about this a little bit before, like on some of the things that was in the video and things like that. And just to let everybody know, you guys are from Tulsa, Oklahoma area, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. It's it was on top of a rooftop that you guys did that. In the piano. I love that piano just because it's so just torn up and old and it's just very, very cool.
I felt sorry for it. It was in a haunted house, so I suppose it's still there. That place is so black. There's no natural lighting, and we had to weave in and out of the haunted house stuff all day to make that video. It was funny.
That's crazy. That's
It was
crazy.
easy to get lost in
Yeah, I
there.
bet. I bet. Yeah, with me, I would just trip over. I trip over myself. I don't need
It was
help.
easy. You know what? Yeah, I'm good at that.
That's great. That's great. So with everything happening, we have one festival. You know, we've had so many festivals that had to cancel this year, which is super sad. And you know, and honestly, these are the last things to come back are festivals because you can't really distance yourself at a festival.
Right.
You know, how you gonna mosh and be 6 feet away? You know,
Yeah.
so really. In light of it, we're kind of those are the last things to come back is festivals, you know, doing a show that probably will happen before an actual festival, I think, just because of the number of people, but man, I mean, we do have this one festival, which is actually the Edge Festival, which is going to be in Ottawa this January 25th. We've got several bands, or excuse me, July 25th. Why did I say January? Did I say January? Well, you know, time is July 25th. Thank you, assistant back there, keeping me straight. But yes, July 25th. This is going to be at the Ottawa, Kansas. It's at the First and Hickory City parking lot, and so this is going to be very interesting to see how this plays out, because I know we're only shy of. I mean, it's the 8th now, so we're looking at just. You know, what is that?
Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks. So, I mean, we're one of the states here in Kansas that haven't, you know, kind of made that to where you have to shut things down because I know that, you know, they were trying to open things in Texas and then all of a sudden they got shut down again. I think the same thing. Well, Oklahoma's pretty open right now. I think Oklahoma's pretty open right now.
Yeah, now it is. It had gone through a period of total shutdown.
It sure did. It sure did. We went down there and did a show. It was really cool because it was like it started off with rap, and then it went from normal type rap to West Coast rap to a metal rap, which was crazy.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we had this one band that played right before us that was more of like a Irish pub punk metal band.
Huh.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but it was a lot of fun to finally get out there and play because we played, and I don't know about you guys, but we played last in March. And so, I mean, when was the last time you guys played? Was that about the same time?
Yeah, it was in April. We had taken off. We had been gone a week on the road performing, and we were scheduled to only come home for a couple of days and then go back out. And within those 2 days when we got back, everything shut down. Yeah. And that stopped everything we did.
Yeah. Yeah, we were actually on the road. We were going to South by Southwest Festival.
That's the same as us.
Yeah, we were on our way.
Yeah, we got a call. Yeah. We were in Oklahoma. I mean, turn around. We were like,
That was the same for us. It was come back and then 2 days go to South by Southwest. So.
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah. But you know, and they were hoping. I know they were talking a little bit about postponing it to November, but I think at this point they're just going to have it same time next year. They're just gonna.
Yeah, that's what it looks like most of them because. You know, you try to reschedule those things, and it's hard to get so many band schedules back together then when the South by Southwest is usually a set date. Everybody knows when that's going to happen.
Exactly. So, yeah, it's crazy. Like we had about a month and a week scheduled for Texas. It was literally, which ironically, back in November, we named it the Infectious Tour. Even had like a little zombie girl on the front of a t-shirt.
Your fault.
Yeah.
I know, right? Jeez, what did I do? That's crazy. But yeah, it was insane. But yeah, so but I think it's important that like what you said, you're continuing, you're still doing stuff, you're still putting out music and things like that, and I
Sure.
think we need music more than ever right now because people are really just kind of in their own, and I've seen more depression in the last 2 or 3 months than
Yeah.
anger and depression is what I've seen in the last 2 or 3 months than ever seen. So music is definitely the spawn of, I think, the light for everybody. So thank God for music. Um,
Yeah.
well, let's definitely go back and let's talk about this next one. Now, this one, I watched it today. This is your new release, and this is Cosmic Eye.
Yes.
And tell the viewers a little bit about this song and the meaning behind it.
We always dedicate it to those who've gone on before us. Um, and you can see by the video that is a lot of our actual family that
Aw.
have gone on before us, or they're still here, but we just want to honor them in some way. And actually, when we wrote that song, I wrote the words for my mom. Jason had written it with his mom in mind, and I didn't really know that. And then when I wrote it with my mom in mind, so it
Aw.
worked out that way.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. I know when I watched it, I was like, this is amazing. I love that. And I was like, oh, I know this has to be family. This has to be family. So I love the fact that you guys did that. You put your family in it. That's amazing. So
Mean brown girl, the little mean brown-headed girl that's going. That's me.
love it. Love it. All right, guys. Well, don't forget on your side to go ahead and mute your side when we do play this, so we don't get any background or things like that.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, you guys. Here you go. This is Cosmic Eye by the one and only Flux. So beautiful. So
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Oh, love that. Love that. Man, just and it's such a it's a ballad, but it's such a beautiful everything. Like your voice, Becky. Jesus. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous. And the riffs on that. Yeah. Yeah, it was beautifully put together. And even just like every time I watch it, I've watched it now 3 times. Like I almost tear up. It's like one of those things. It's like it's like you love your family. Your family is like the most important thing. And then, when, at some point they're not going to be there anymore.
Sure.
But it's one of those things, that to be able to have a video and be able to remember them. I know you said some of them are obviously still alive, but the ones that did pass, it's so. I bet. Well, how does that feel to be able to have a video out there that you're able to make a tribute to those people?
It was interesting. I sent it to both sides of my family because we feature different people in it, and they felt the same way you did. They thought it was very touching and very fitting. And those are coming from people who normally don't listen to our style of music, and we wanted to make sure that song kind of crossed that boundary a little bit. And it does remind them of that. And I think, I certainly do when I play it live. I always think of that video and those people and the thoughts of when they were here. But it is a powerful song. I always think there's more that can be done to it, more orchestration or whatever. But I guess it's probably best said just as simple as it is.
It is. It's very beautiful. Yeah, I struggle with that too sometimes with songs. I always think, oh, well, I should have done this, or maybe this should have been added, or, and my keyboard just always reminds me, Raven, too much, too much. Just let it be what it is.
Yeah, I think a big part of writing is knowing when to say when.
Yeah.
Just it's time to take your hands off of it, Jason.
Okay.
And please just let the song rest, or even walk away from it for a day or so, and then you'll know.
Yeah, and that's very true because there's like one song I still like every time we don't even play it live because it is our lowest like BPM that we ever have. It's like 90 beats per minute, but it's a 5-minute song, right? So I'm like, oh, this just drags out for me. For me, it feels like it drags out, and so,
Sure.
Have you guys ever done that? Like you wrote a song and you're just like, I just feel like this is too long.
Yeah. Well, even that song, for whatever, a year or so, we've always played that song live. But I remember moments where we would play different places and we would always think, oh man, this crowd's really heavy. Like these guys are already in a mosh pit. There's no way this song is going to fly tonight. And we, it would be one of those songs we would pull to know it's not going to make it through that.
Mm-hmm.
And we had actually dropped it from the set this year. We were, when we were touring in the spring, we didn't play that song.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we thought, well, we need to release lyric videos during the pandemic, this is the time to do that. And it came back and we've seen a lot of success from it. And we thought, well, no matter what now, we've got to play that song live. So I think, and maybe that's what it is. Like you said, yeah, you got to let it rest and, enough's enough. But then after you let it rest and come back, you realize, wait a minute, there's another way to approach this and put it out there. Because that song is fragile. It's tricky to play live because there's no drums in the beginning of it.
Right. But it's such a beautiful song. So, yeah, and I totally get you with that because that was exactly the same thing that we were dealing with. We had this really slow song, and here we are, this heavy band. So but in the same light, like you said, sometimes people really need that song. They just need that moment. They need that song live. So maybe we'll revisit that song.
Yeah, maybe so.
People sing it with me now.
Yeah,
it's cool when we're live. People sing it along. So
I think the ones that know the meaning of it now and understand what that song's about, they have a better attachment to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that. And that's I think the best feeling too when you look out into the audience and they are singing that back to you. It's like, wow. That's I think it's such an amazing moment on stage. So yeah, absolutely. So you do have this other thing. Did you want me to go ahead and play that you sent to me?
Yeah, well, the other two new ones, yeah.
Well, we have those other two new ones, but Becky sent me the
That's just
like
Oh, that's the link to Dead Pulse. Sorry, that's the
Gotcha.
link to the Dead Pulse where you could. I thought, well, I know she can get all the links to everything else, but that one right there would be a little trickier
Okay.
to find, maybe. So I told her, well, just send her that so you have the Dead Pulse
Gotcha.
link.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. Well, tell kind of the audience too. How long have you guys been a band?
We will actually, on the 17th of this month, start year 3.
That's crazy.
So that it always seems weird, you know, New Year's Day, you think, oh, it's the next year for the band. No, it's technically not. You only made it halfway through that year.
Right.
So, yeah, this will begin year 3, and I'm proud of what we've done in this time. You know, I always want to do more, but I think we're on still keeping up the fast pace that we originally had thought of doing.
Oh yeah, yeah. You guys are doing amazing, especially because I mean, you're where a lot of bands get to at about 8-10 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you guys have worked your asses off too. So you know you put in the work and done exactly what you guys needed to do to be where you're at. So it's
Sure.
definitely well deserved. Definitely well deserved. And I think that a lot of people out there they don't understand that. Like, you know, as for a band, you've got to take risk. You got to take risk, and you got to put yourself out there, and do things that you didn't think that you were ready for, maybe possibly at the time. But you never know until you do it. You know what I mean? And you guys do that. You guys absolutely do that. And you guys have done all kinds of great things. You guys have already played Rocklahoma,
Yep.
yeah, which was such an awesome experience for you guys. I know that it was so hot too. Becky has a story about that.
Yeah, it was heat stroke type stuff. And you know, people ask, because that was probably the biggest crowd we played to at that time. And they asked, are you nervous or whatever? And it's funny that out of all the shows we played, that was the one I was least nervous about, because we had played 25 or 30 shows already that year going into that. So it was like, okay, I know this routine. I know exactly what to do. There was no question marks on what was going on. And it was just, all right, let's get up and play a show.
Right.
Did we play right after Driver?
Oh, you
Yeah,
did?
And we were already touring with Driver.
So it just seemed like it was another.
I mean,
Another show.
Lena Ford was after us, so that was different.
Yeah, that was the different part about it.
But it was wonderful. I mean,
Yeah.
it was too busy. You know, it was just fast paced, just like any other gig, so it was too busy to get nervous.
Yeah, and we were probably, and speaking of Cosmic Eye, we did play that at Rocklahoma, and that was the only time I got a little kind of nervous, because I look over on stage left, and Doug Burgess is there with DEB Concerts, and that's his stage, that Roadhouse stage. So he is the grand master.
Right.
And I look over, and he's standing there. I'm like, okay, we got to make this count. The boss man's here.
Right. I love Doug to death, but he does not like my music. He's like, I don't like that Cookie Monster music.
Yeah. There's
okay,
a couple of songs
That's
we
okay,
play
Doug.
that they push his aggression level. Yeah.
Yeah. He cracks me up all the time. Me and him have actually had like little discussions, and he's like, no, and I'm like, you really should give this band over here a try. No, they do that Cookie Monster stuff. I don't want to.
Yeah. Yeah, he can't get past it. He just can't.
He can't. Which is fine. I love him to death.
Yeah.
But yeah, he cracks me up. So this next song that we're going to be playing, this is called Carousel. Tell the audience a little bit about the meaning behind this.
I'll start it, I guess, and let her finish it. That song, and if you've seen us live, there's an intro that gets played before it. Originated based on the movie Logan's Run. Like a lot of things that when I write riffs and ideas, I'm a big B-rated sci-fi movie guy, and I think, it would be cool, to do that. And there's that scene in there where they say carousel. And the movie was filmed in Dallas at at Market Hall, and I'd actually played there as a classical guitarist, and I was looking up. I remember playing there and looking around going, oh, wait a minute, I know this place. This is in Logan's Run. This is that spot.
Wow, that's crazy.
It originally started as that, as being a Logan's Run idea. And then when Becky changed the lyrics, she took a different approach. So I'll let her tell you kind of where she went with that.
Yeah, I always take a different approach. She always has an idea, and then I always take a different approach. It is about domestic abuse, and the carousel part is you're on the carousel, so it turns back to you, and he beats her, and then at the end she's like breaking the bones in his face. That's the crux of it in a simple. I recorded vocals.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah. I get it.
Because if I'd have finished the lyrics of all of our songs, we'd have been like the Misfits reborn. We've been singing around B-rated.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I love that meaning, Becky. I do. And the idea of where it came from, that's pretty crazy. But yeah, and having something like that, I think it needs to be. You know what I mean? Because yes, us as women, we are maybe not as strong as men, but yes, we can get them back by other means and ways.
Call it our sweet little love song.
There you go. All right, you guys. Well, here is Carousel by Flux. All right. Oh yeah. Ugh. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. So tell the audience a little bit. I love doing these questions right here about like you guys, since you guys are now hitting your third year, what kind of crazy experience could you just you think off the top of your head that you've been through that you go, oh, this one time?
Year one was really crazy being out there on the road. That's kind of, well, it was the first time us as a group had gone out on the road with each other and spent any prolonged period of time with each other. And it just seemed like every venue we played, it wouldn't have mattered where it was. The biggest, craziest kind of town weirdo would be there and hanging out with Zach. I would turn around and look, and Zach's talking to somebody, and yep, the conversation got real weird real fast.
Wow. Now I
So
understand why Becky says
that was
she says.
always the running joke that he was the magnet for stuff like that.
You would think it would be me, but it's not me. It's Zach.
Yeah.
That's why you say you have to watch him all the time and be like, okay, listen.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, if something's going to happen along but the oddest thing that ever happened, we were playing in Dallas at Reno's Chop Shop, and it was part of the Vakken audition or Battle of the Bands, whatever it was called for Vakken. And you really had to be on stage on the exact time. The judges were going to count off if you were late. So, we'd really refined. We brought our techs with us so we could make this happen fast.
Right.
And so it's time for us to go up. And I mean, we shot that gear up there. It was ready and everything was perfect. We're sound checked, time to go. And we have no bass player at all. We don't even know where Richard's at. I thought, well, maybe he went to the restroom or something. We still got a couple of minutes. We're technically not late. We're actually ahead. And so we waited and waited. I was like, okay, now we've got about 2 minutes. We ought to maybe make a phone call. So we call him. And Deep Ellum is always, packed with people, and parking's tricky, especially with trailers. I get him on the phone, and he's driving around Deep Ellum because he had gone outside to get Becky's mic stand, and there were cops out there ready to ticket the trailer and boot the truck.
Tow it, yeah.
And tow it.
Oh, no.
So he had to start driving it to avoid the ticket. And he was hoping, well, maybe I'll find a spot and get back in there. Well, he couldn't. So we grab our tech, he runs outside, switches spots with Richard in the truck, and continues to drive around while Richard comes running inside. And I mean, literally just ran in, grabbed his bass, and got on stage, and we played.
Wow.
And we got it out, and it was like, oh my God, if we ever play here at Reno's again.
Jeez.
Wait, one time we do cover a Slayer song. Sometimes we play Seasons of the Abyss.
Yeah.
And somebody tried to grab Jason's pick out of his hand while he was playing the solo.
Yeah, right now.
They were taking it out of his hand.
Be like, can you wait till after we're done? Maybe kind of need it.
Yeah.
Wow, that's funny. That's crazy. Yeah, it's a lot of people don't realize, I guess, on the road, especially as bands, we go through all kinds of crazy stuff. We see all kinds of crazy stuff, and like you said, you see a lot of weird people.
Yeah. Yeah, I always keep an eye out because it's just one. Most people, we went to Nebraska and people are extremely friendly and cordial, and they love having you there. And you just couldn't ask for a better place to play. But you always kind of keep an eye out, thinking, "All right, this is too good to be true. Where's the weirdo? The town weirdo that's going to show up?"
That's awesome, and that's very true. There's always one. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. Well, all right, let's get to this last one because I want to make sure we get all 4 of these songs in. So this one is Loadout, and this is the actual lyric video. So tell the audience a little bit about this song.
Well, we usually play it pretty early in the set. I'm so delirious, Raven, it's pathetic. It is about someone who was stalking me. And tell me that I forgot about that. And they tell me that I'd be better off if I'd sleep with them, they can help me with my career and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I've been there, done that, girl. I understand where you're coming from. You're just like, no, I think I'm good.
Okay. I'm good. Thank you, though.
It is weird though. You know, I think us as women, we tend to get a lot more of the weird things that happen to us, I think, than the men. Because the men, you men, you know, you're just like, you're men, you're like, meh, this girl over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But us as women, you know, men just seem to be a little bit more, I don't know, dominating, I guess. They want to dominate, and they want to dominate you. And you're just like, no, I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm good.
No.
Love it. Love it. All right. Well, here is Loadout, everybody, by Mudflux.
Are you ready?
Oh, love it, love it. Man, there's a picture in there towards the ending. Make sure you unmute. your deal so I can hear you. But yeah, there's a deal at the picture at the ending of that I love of you, Becky. It's like where you're like kind of flipped your hair up, and I love that one. That's like I'm like that picture right there. You should have that.
My brother took that. That was at VAR.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, you should have like blow that up and just have it hanging on your wall. That's super cool. It's super cool. So talking just a little bit about Edge Festival, which is going to be happening the 25th of this month. You guys excited to finally?
Absolutely. Yes. We are so excited.
Very much.
Yeah. It looks like it's going to be a pretty good turnout. I think as much as we want to play, there's a lot of people that want to be a part of it and hear live music. That's been something I think a lot of people just, there's not really many places open, not many, especially doing a festival. You know what I mean? It's
that's very true.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing you guys and Razor Wire, all the bands we played shows with before in the past, and finally getting to see them again.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We're fans too, so we like to see you guys.
Right. Yeah, same here as well. So for all of you out there, if you want to know kind of when this is going to be, this is the 25th. This is the lineup. We've got Razor Wire Halo, we've got Mudflex, my band Waking the Sleeper, The Less Fortunate, Orion Falls, Stone Ape Theory. I always want to say that wrong. I don't know why. Is it Ape? Yeah, Stoned Ape Theory. Yeah. That is a wild band name. And then, of course, Adventure Mouse. So absolutely, you guys, come on out on the 25th. It is for a good cause, too. And there's going to be a bike run and all kinds of stuff. So it's going to be really awesome. It's for St. Jude's. So absolutely. And that was another reason why we wanted to have these amazing folks on with their band to kind of show who they are and who's going to be playing on this festival. So absolutely come out.
Right.
So tell me, guys, with everything going on, what's kind of the rest of your plans, I guess, for the rest of the year?
The tour got shut down, so we decided after a few days into that, we thought, well, let's do what we did when we first began and use this time period to do everything that we're going to need in the next year. Not in year 3, but in year 4, what are we going to need? And so we started there. One of the first things was we dismantled all the equipment, upgraded all the equipment, changed guitars, pickups, strings, everything got changed. And, went to more modern, I guess, technology. We trained a tech because we knew we were going to need a tech for sure to do a lot of things. Started working on the new album. So we're kind of 3 songs in now on the new album, so we know that's got to be done. The lyric videos, of course, were all of it. So we just kind of started planning the agenda like we did when we started, of treat this as it's downtime and you want to be safe, but you've also got to get a lot of things done, and there are things you can do here at the house. And with the majority of us, we live together and rehearse in the same house. So there's always something going on here involving the band.
That's moving forward. And I think that's very relevant to, just kind of getting yourselves prepared for 2021. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I don't know how much left is for 2020, but I actually, I did another interview earlier and we were talking about hashtags, and I said, yeah, I put a hashtag out there for 2020 for the rest of it. I was like, I think it was hashtag 2020 can suck ass balls.
Yeah. Yeah, we tried rebooking those shows that got missed, and as soon as we got some of them rebooked and okay, it looks like we'll go through the rest of the summer playing a full schedule, they started falling off as soon as the spike came. And so at that point, just a few weeks ago, we realized, look, we're going to do the shows that are on the books for the rest of the year. If something comes up, certainly we will be there to play, but that's not going to be primary focus, is playing shows. And, when, bigger nationals and things pull out of shows and venues are shut down, they don't have the revenue to pay those nationals, and which means they certainly, aren't going to have money to do anything else. So, they're reluctant to book you because they know, I can't even give you $100 because it's not here. We don't have it.
Yeah.
So it makes it tough overall, and I think that's the plan for the rest of the year, though, is to write a new album, we're doing a whole new thing in merchandise. Some of the new merchandise got posted today. And there'll be some, of course, at the festival. We'll have it, and then a couple of special things that are coming out with the merchandise that some people might be interested in. So just different ideas, different avenues, new thoughts on what a year from now is going to happen.
And that is something too. I want if the audience has that question, if they want to purchase your CD or your merchandise, where would they go?
Yeah, the Dead Pulse is a great spot because you can get a digital download and a physical copy mailed to you. Coming to a show, obviously that festival coming up is a good way to get both download and physical copies. The merchandise in shirts and things like that, we sell through Facebook on our Facebook page. Okay. So they can be purchased there. The store will get updated as we get into next week. The new shirts will be up there. And then, like I said, the other merchandise that's coming in will be put up. Okay. But we try to make sure that we don't sell a lot of merchandise online, which forces people to come to a show. It's like, look, if you want that particular piece of merchandise, you've got to come to a show. You can't buy that online.
That's pretty smart. It's pretty smart.
Yeah. Yeah, you offer some things, but not everything.
Right. And I've heard this new thing out now too, and I don't know if that's something you guys thought about doing it at all. We've kind of been thinking about doing it, but it's called, they have several different apps, but one of them is called Stage It, and it's where it's promoted by other stations and things like that, and it's like $5 a ticket, and you get to do a virtual concert for like 30 to 45 minutes. And there's even like a tip jar, and it's like the person who tips the most through the show either gets like a Skype call from the band and maybe some merch or something like that.
That's very cool.
It is really cool. We've been thinking about doing it. I thought I'd pass that over to you too. I don't know if this would be something you guys would even be interested in doing, but it is definitely something I think a lot of bands are starting to kind of join up on, since they can't really perform out there.
Yeah, and we were approached by it like right when everything shut down about doing a virtual type show, and we couldn't get the schedules lined up. And then when we could get it lined up, the place we were going to have the virtual show at said, no, you can't do that here. They completely shut the building down, so it became harder and harder. I still think it's something that needs to be done, though.
Yeah.
And that may be the way to do it, is through that app.
Yeah, and we've actually thought, okay, so what about just doing like a 30 to 45 minute acoustic show? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something like that. It would be a little bit more intimate, something different that they wouldn't normally get to see, I guess, if they came to an actual show.
Right.
So something like that, is a really cool idea as well. So, but yeah, I think it's, we're starting to go into this. I knew that the music business was different today comparatively than yesterday's, but I really think it's really going to be different now. I think we're going to be
much different.
So many uncharted territories here, and we're all just, I guess, in this trying to figure it out.
Yeah, and it's going to take time. It's I guess the venues, that have owners that put capital back or had a reserve to wade through this and make it through, those will be the ones on the other side of it. And even then, when they come out of it, they had the capital to keep the doors for the electricity on, and now they got the money to open the doors, but they're not going to have the money to bring in those bands. So I don't know what it's going to do afterwards, because your national bands are going to want to tour, and these venues are going to say, hey, we just lost a year of revenue.
Yeah.
You're either going to take a massive pay cut, or no, it'll be another year before we can do it. So who knows? It may be the next rise of local and regional bands again, because they can afford those bands.
Right. And I absolutely agree with you. And it's very sad to see, that. Because I know that a lot of people want to see these, international bands, but at the same time, if the venues themselves can't pay to get them there, then there's no way. There's no way.
Yeah, there's no way they can't do it. Because they've, a lot of the venues, very well, when you play these venues, they're struggling to keep the doors open to begin with. Mm-hmm. And you're lucky if you play one where like, oh yeah, we play this and that, and they're not really worried about it. And those might be the ones that survive in the end, but it's still going to come around.
You guys,
they're not going to have that capital to put up for those bigger bands.
yeah. Do you guys have a lot of venues that are kind of closed down in your area right now, or have
We
closed down?
saw, well, it was Seymour in Texas.
Hmm.
The places we played in Texas drop off.
Yeah, I've seen like 4 in Texas drop off.
Yeah,
Like, oh
and
my
here
goodness.
locally, not really. There were several I thought for sure this is going to close down. But no, it really hasn't dropped off. I know they've had a couple of fundraiser things here for the venues to try to make sure they still make it through. But without us still not being at 100% capacity and people still concerned about getting out, it doesn't mean, oh yeah, we can open our doors, we can survive now. That doesn't mean that at all.
Yeah, and that's very true. That's something to take in consideration. Is yeah, you can open your doors and have a show, but people are still, afraid to go out to shows like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because, keep social distancing at shows is impossible.
It is.
So yeah, it's crazy. And I think here in Kansas, it's like they're trying to mandate a mask that you have to wear anywhere at this point. The problem is though, like what's going to happen when these kids go back to school? Like, are they going to say these kids have to wear masks? I mean, you're going to try to keep a kindergartner or a first grade to keep a mask on for 5 minutes, then I'll give you $10.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough case here. They haven't mandated masks here in Oklahoma. They strongly suggested it, but like in Texas, it's mandatory. In Florida and California and places like that. But we see a lot of people in masks here when we do get out.
Mm-hmm.
So people are taking it serious here.
Right.
And you can tell, we've been to a couple of shows locally here in the last month, and the turnout's very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is good. It seems like people are eager to get out here.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully the bands that are playing those shows and the venues are able to survive still.
Yeah. We played at I've never played there before, but it's called Blackbird on Pearl.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. We went right around the block to eat before the show, and there is the coolest Irish pub.
Yeah.
It's called Kilkenny's.
Yep, that's it.
Oh my God,
that's
it's so
it. It's
awesome.
good place.
Oh, it's very good. Yeah, and it was such a cool atmosphere, and just loved it. It was awesome. So it was funny because I'm Viking Irish, but I've never had an Irish car bomb, right? So we're sitting in there, and I was like, okay, it's a shot, right? So I was like, I want to try it, and all the band members look at me and go, no, Raven, no. And I was like, wait, why can't I have a shot? And they're like, it's a drink. It's not an act. There's a shot goes inside the drink. And I was like,
right.
Oh.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, you're going to be like, you're going to fall as soon as you drink this. You're going to be like, nope, can't perform. I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, I never got to try it though.
Yeah, that Blackbird used to be, that area there, and the Blackbird on Pearl used to be Club Nitro back in the 80s, which was a punk and metal bar.
Cool.
The man that owned it, Kay, has the restaurant next door to Nitro. It's since been sold to Donnie Rich. He also owns the Shrine. But that's where I played when I was a kid. I think pretty much my first show.
Wow.
When I was 15 or 16 was at Club Nitro, and it was funny. It was almost 30 years to the day. Mudflux played there, and Kay came from next door because we happened to eat next door, and I saw him. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to come over and see you guys. I remember you." So it was funny that after all those years, but yeah, that used to be the punk and metal hangout. That little corner area, that was our spot.
That's so cool. Yeah, it was a very, very awesome atmosphere, the whole area right there. So,
yeah.
And everybody was super sweet. I mean, we're starting to play in a lot of different places in Tulsa. Obviously not now, but we were, and which is really cool. Because like for the last, I would say 2 years, we've been up for. And nominated for the the Tulsa Music Awards, which is pretty awesome to be nominated for that home away from home kind of thing. So, but yeah, it's we're not actually from Tulsa, but it's cool that they even have that kind of a category, which is awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, you guys, we're just about out of time here, but I want to thank you both so very much for coming. If there was another band out there that wants to get started, what kind of advice would you give them?
I would tell them, sit down like we did for 6 months. Don't play a show. Don't advertise you're a band. Don't tell people big things coming up or anything like that. Sit down with a map and write a plan out. Okay, if it's this is our influence. What are we going to do? Have a battle plan. Have a recording. Have your merchandise. It's too hard to do that once the wheels start moving.
Mm-hmm.
You really run out of time and energy. So take advantage of 6 to 8 months and get your package ready to put on a shelf somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Use your anonymity to your advantage.
Yes, absolutely. That's amazing advice. I love that. So, and it's very, very true. Well, thank you both so very much for joining me on the show. If any of you guys out there have comments, just put them in the comment section. Make sure you give me some hearts for this band. I love you guys so much. I can't wait to see you up there in Ottawa.
Awesome. We'll see you soon.
Sounds good. All right. Well, I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Bye. All right, you guys. Well, there you have it. Thank you so much for joining another episode of Quote the Raven Show. We will be here soon interviewing the other bands as well that are going to be playing the Edge Festival. So stay tuned. And I love you guys so much. You guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.